Hello, and thank you for joining us today for this Google Plus Hangout. My name is Cody Switzer, and I'm a senior editor here at the Chronicle. I will be your moderator today. We're recording this on May 11th, one day after Mother's Day, so a belated Happy Mother's Day to everyone joining us. It's moms that will be the focus of our next half hour together, because not only do women make or influence most of a household's giving decisions, but moms online are also a powerful force for advocacy and giving. So to help your nonprofit better engage with the world of moms online, we have three experts joining us today. But before I introduce them, a few housekeeping items. First, if you're watching this on philanthropy.com, you can ask questions by leaving a comment on this page or sending a Twitter message to @philanthropy. If you're joining us from Google+, we've turned on the Q&A feature so you can ask questions there. And if you'd like to review a recording of this discussion, it'll be available immediately on this page as well as on the Chronicle's Google+ and YouTube pages. So now about our guests. Miranda Bernard is Vice President for Communications and at Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, where she oversees public relations, social media, celebrity relations, and more. Welcome, Miranda.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And our next guest is Laura Probst, who is Head of Social Responsibility at The Honest Company, a benefit corporation that sells sustainable products for babies and families. Thanks for joining us, Laura.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
And our final guest is Maura Ahrens-Mealy. She is the founder of Women Online, a digital public relations and marketing firm that engages women through social media. She's been working with Women Online since 1999, including becoming the founding political director for blogher.com. She also helped Hillary Clinton log on for her first internet chat and has launched online campaigns for the world's leading organizations. Hello, Maura.
Hi.
So to get us started, Maura, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about why this audience is so important for nonprofits or any type of organization.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Cody, and thank you to Laura and Miranda. I'm so excited to talk to you guys, and I hope our audience will find it beneficial too, and happy Mother's Day, everyone. I think that marketers have known for decades, many years, that mothers are the driving force behind most household and major purchases. And I think that the growth of social media means that moms have even more power because we truly drive major decisions across the board, from healthcare to what kind of car the family is going to buy, to really, what a family advocates for, what it stands for. Moms vote more, we advocate more, and we really are a driving force in sort of mission-driven decisions across the board, as well as financial decisions, which is why every mission-driven organization has to know what mothers are thinking. In addition, moms on social media are hugely powerful, tremendous influence. The top 15 mom bloggers have a bigger readership than the NewYorkTimes.com. So that's pretty massive. And when you add in moms on Facebook, on Pinterest, on Twitter, on Instagram, we absolutely dominate social media. It's true, actually. Women dominate every social media platform except for LinkedIn, which I think is interesting, but that's another topic. So you really have to pay attention to what mothers are thinking. And if you're a mission-driven organization, there's something that happens, I think, when you become a parent, and it's not just for moms, but, you really view your family in the context of a wider world. And every time a mother goes online to express her voice, whether it's through her Facebook page or through her blog or even just posting a photo on Instagram, she's sharing what she really thinks. And I think this is an incredible opportunity for organizations to tap into what a mom thinks and engage her in a conversation about the wider world. You may be taking your kid to get a vaccine at her pediatrician, and then you can take a moment and you can think about kids in the developing world who don't have that opportunity. That's a chance for a nonprofit to make a connection and turn a mother online into an advocate, and I think that's important.
So if I was at a nonprofit that may not have been thinking specifically about mothers as an audience that I was reaching out to in a really kind of orchestrated, organized way, where would I start? What are some of the building blocks? What are some of the first things to do? Maura.
Well, the first thing is to listen, right? I mean, it should be the basis. And the best thing about social media is it's the world's largest focus group, and you don't even have to sit behind a glass mirror, right? You can, just through some clever searching, find out what moms in your target group are thinking. Of course, moms aren't a monolithic group, right? We know this from every campaign. There are over 4 million mom blogs in this country, and almost every mother has a Facebook page. So that's a giant pool. So do a little work and think about, are you targeting a regional group? Are you targeting a lifestyle group? Are you targeting a specific demographic or ethnic group of moms? You know, we aren't a monolith, although we hold many things dear. And then listen, follow leading influential moms on Facebook, follow them on Twitter, look at their Instagram feeds, read mom blogs, sort of follow the zeitgeist, and then you can really dive in and find a specific ecosystem. It's always also good, I think, to really search on issues. So, for example, if you are working on targeting mothers who really care about learning disabilities, for example, this is a big community online of parents writing about these issues. Type in keywords and see who's blogging about it. It's quite simple, but there you find people who are using their social media platforms to drive an issue forward, and you can start listening and then designing a strategy around that.
Laura, can you tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing at Honest and how you're reaching out to your community of moms?
Sure. Well, the Honest Company is really interesting in terms of a connection point to moms because that truly is our customer base. You know, people have this moment of innovation and dedication once they have a baby and become a mom, where they know they want to make healthy choices, but they are actually willing to commit themselves to those once they have a child. So that's really been the basis of our growth at the Honest Company, and the real heart and soul of the company has been around our mission, which is to create a healthy and safe world for children and families. So every mom who is coming to the Honest Company is sort of predisposed to that broader vision of, I want to make a healthy choice for my family, but I like that this company stands for my values and really wants to protect the health and safety of all children. So we've done everything from integrating that support easily into product purchases, right? One of our top selling products are our diapers, and so we release new patterns every quarter, and sometimes we'll put in a pattern where proceeds of that particular diaper pattern go to a specific initiative. For example, we had a hippo diaper pattern that we launched in collaboration with the World Wildlife Fund, and for the first 1,000 patterns that were purchased, you could adopt, virtually adopt a hippopotamus and provide, support for protecting a hippopotamus, and you got a certificate to show your kids, look, we adopted a hippopotamus, and all that kind of fun stuff. So we made it really real for them, and that was a great point of engagement through product purchases. We've done that through, not only products that affect their children, but we're a family brand. So, when we did a partnership with Movember with our employees, we decided why not extend that to our customers, and we allowed them to donate $1 for every men's focused product, whether it's deodorant or lip balm that they bought during the month of November. So we do that. We also do a holiday gift every year with a social goodness theme. So our customers buy monthly bundles of products, and we put a gift in there that gives back. It's usually a gift that you can do in collaboration with your children. And this year it was to make a healthy recipe, and we announced our partnership with Food Corps. We announced it on Giving Tuesday, so we leveraged the power of social media to announce it. We let our customers know we've made this commitment to putting 5 new service members in new communities, and asked our customers, hey, if you'll post your healthy recipes, we sent you some with your holiday gift, we'll donate more. And we'd like to get, to a 6th service member. Will you help us? So we issued that call to action, gave them a gift, some fun for them to do, but said, hey, if you'll show us what you did, we'll actually do more for the community. We had a really high response there, and we partnered with Food Corps to match the donations from their donors on Giving Tuesday as well, so that we not only corralled our moms, but we corralled their audience as well, so we could have a really big impact that way. We get the chance to talk to them on social, in their packages, but also on the phone. We have a customer service team that talks to upwards of 5,000 moms a day. So we get to talk to them about what we're doing, in our activities, and get to share with them opportunities that they have to join us. So we're lucky in that we have a lot of different touch points, but we try to make them kind of the dual benefit, where it's a gift, it's something that's going to benefit your child, but it's something that can benefit more children than just your child. So that's why you're coming here, right? You need something for your family, but you also know that you like our values, and so we give you that opportunity to do more beyond just help your own family when you engage with us.
Great, thanks. Miranda, can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing to reach out to moms?
Yeah, I would be happy to. So, as you mentioned, I work for Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, and we are responsible for raising funds and awareness for 170 children's hospitals around the United States and Canada. And all of our initiatives are focused on helping people understand that children's hospitals need donations. They have a very vast charitable need. And of course, for us, moms are such a natural audience that we need to connect with to help spread that message. So a couple of things that we have found to be really helpful in connecting with moms is the focus on storytelling. So moms, I'm one myself, and when I'm with my friends, I know that we all connect by telling stories. So that's something that we, from a brand management perspective and from sharing, that message that children's hospitals need donations, we do that by telling stories to moms. There's that saying in the PR world that reporters don't write reports, they tell stories, and that's because that's what people connect with. So we try to keep all of our efforts targeted to moms, focused on storytelling. We've tried to invite mom bloggers to kind of attend a lot of our e-awareness initiatives and cover those just as a reporter would, and let them really share some of these experiences through their own eyes as a mom and sharing that with their own networks. That's been really successful for us. Another thing that we have found is when you want a mom to take action, you have to remember that you're asking them to add another thing onto what's already a really extensive to-do list. So make sure that your ask is simple, that it's solving a problem for them, or it's filling a need. One example of the way that we have done that is through our Valentine's Day video that we did this year. So last year, of course, on our social channels, we love to wish all of our followers a happy Valentine's Day, and by posting a fun image, I think we had about 13,000 people engage with that. And this year, we changed it to a video that was really fun and engaging and had a fun song. And it also linked back to a free printable Valentine's Day card where moms or anyone can go on and just print it out and use it and share it. And the difference with providing them with that tool is that we reached we had 2 million impressions that were organic compared to last year's of 13,000. So just by adding that extra piece where we gave them something free and it was fun and they wanted to engage with it naturally, we really saw a big increase in web traffic to our site, and also just in the shareable nature of that content anyway.
Great. I think there are two things that you brought up that I wanted to ask all three of you about, and I think the first thing is about reaching out specifically to moms who are bloggers. And Maura, you mentioned that the top 15 mom bloggers in terms of audience have a greater audience than the New York Times. How do you start that process of, if you find a mom blogger that cares about the things that your nonprofit does, how do you start that relationship and reach out to them? And Maura, do you want to go first?
Sure. And I just wanted to say one thing, which is, I think it sounds corny, but it really is about the love. And I personally, I just going back to the Honest example, I love their diapers so much. I tell everyone I know about them. I am an unpaid evangelist for them, and I love that they then make it easy for me to connect with my kids around social good. They really inspire passion, and I think that is the first step. And Children's Miracle Network hospitals too. when a mother has been touched by an experience with one of their hospitals, she is their evangelist for life. And so both brands are really smart in tapping into their natural evangelists and asking them first to take a small step. Maybe it's just a retweet, or maybe it's posting something cute on Instagram, and then working with bloggers so that before you know it, if Miranda called a mom up who had a blog who really was passionate about her cause and said, come to an event, I want you to speak, or go lobby for us, she would, right? So it's about finding that initial connection point and slowly building the relationship over time, because as Miranda said, we are super busy, and also moms who blog are pitched probably 100 times a day, right? So there's a lot of activity in the space. I really think it's key, Cody, to what you said, finding someone who is sort of disposed to your cause, having a conversation, and also being honest with an ask. Don't be afraid to ask an influential social media mom to help you if you're a nonprofit. Chances are she wants to if she has the time. But you have to treat it with a certain level of professionalism too. That doesn't mean that you have to pay the mom blogger or the influencer, but you do have to understand that they're busy, they have a lot of requests, and that they want something from the exchange too. And this could be simply to help a nonprofit. This could be access to talking to experts. This could be information that other people don't have. But it's really about a conversation, and I think that that's different than working with a reporter who's paid by a news outlet and this is their beat. A blogger works from passion but also professionalism, so you have to understand where that mix is and figure out what works for both of you, honestly. And it evolves over time. It really does. It may start with a simple retweet, and like I said, 2 years later, they're lobbying for you on Capitol Hill. You've got to stick with it, and you've got to invest also. I'd love to hear Laura and Miranda's thoughts, but an organization who's going to work with bloggers and influencers needs to invest from a resource and a staff perspective as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for us it starts with, as you said, tapping into passion, being respectful enough to do your homework about what is their passion, to when you're approaching them about an issue, that we're working on, or even, hey, we'd love, for you to look at one of our products. We know, do they do that? Do they look at products, or is that something that they're, that they're interested in doing? Or what is, what are they passionate about? What do they use their time doing? Because that just shows a level of understanding for their time. And then we have staffed up significantly around our engagement with bloggers, really to make sure that we're using their time thoughtfully. I mean, we've got a really wonderful community of bloggers, but I think the reason that we've got a wonderful relationship with them is because we really make time to listen to them. When we ask for their opinion, we truly want their opinion. When we ask for them to give us feedback, we really want to hear what their feedback is, and we create settings where they really feel heard, whether we bring them out to have a discussion with us, whether we send them, a care package and set up a specific time to get their feedback, then we, do something for them. We share their feedback, with our larger community as well. So we develop a really reciprocal relationship with them, which I think has helped us, as well. But I think it starts off with really understanding what their passion is, making sure that, we're coming to them with a very specific understanding of what that passion is, and listening to them and creating a forum for that.
I mean, I just want to say one thing that I feel like Laura touched on, which is that, women who choose to speak out online do so because they have a voice and they want to be heard. And so that's really important to acknowledge. This is a powerful act, actually, to open up a blog or to make a statement online. And you need to respect that as a brand.
Yeah. I agree with that, and I think one thing that we found that has really improved our, if you want to call it pickup, as far as bloggers writing about things that we're doing, I think that Valentine's Day video that I mentioned was a great example, because we made it as simple as possible for bloggers to post about it. And so we sent them information. It had the link to the video, it had suggested copy, it had all the information they needed where they could just plug and play. And that was really successful and a huge part of why we had such great reach with that project.
The other thing I will say in terms of investing time that I know has been successful for us is, for a blogger to go to a conference is expensive. both in terms of taking time to be there as well as the cost of getting themselves there. So our being there to hear them speak, to speak with them, to join them in those social settings, stick around for the networking times, I think has been really successful for us as well, because again, I think it just shows an understanding of how they run their businesses and that we're using their time efficiently.
I would love to see more nonprofits take advantage of being at both mom blogging conferences, design blogging conferences, food blogging conferences. I mean, there is such an incredible world out there of social media influencers conferences. You can find them online, and you don't have to have a huge sponsorship. You could just go, and as Laura said, be willing to meet and greet and really see how the community works. And again, because bloggers tend to form niche communities, you should really think about what communities you want to hang out in, right? If you have a food-focused nonprofit, maybe you really should be looking at what are the top food blogging communities, food conferences, what are the hashtags I need to follow. If you're working in education, what are those hashtags for Twitter chats? Education Twitter chats are a hugely influential facet of the online education community. So if you're a nonprofit in that space, you've got to know that, and you've got to be there. You really have to be there.
And for the audience, what are some of these conferences? I don't know, Miranda or Laura, these conferences that you've attended that you've thought have been particularly helpful?
We have attended, so members of our PR team or our social team, they do go to mom blogger conferences, and we've had a lot of success with that, with meeting people there. We have also kind of gone another route where we've additionally gone to where moms already are. For us, Disney is a really great corporate partner of ours, and we are working with them, for example, on their Disney Princess Half Marathon, where they have 40,000 runners, the majority of which are moms or grandmothers. And so we've gone there, we go to their events, they really get to know our brand and the kids that we're helping and the moms that we're working with, and then we've been able to find some really passionate bloggers just within that group who have really incredible followings of their own and have been able to work with them on getting our story out there. So for us, going to where the moms are has been a really successful thing for us to do, to connect with bloggers and moms in the real world.
We go, a lot of the reason I think that people like The Honest Company is our design. We really pay a lot of attention to making things that are beautifully designed, that are fun, that are fresh. So we go to design conferences like Alt Summit. We've spent a lot of time there and have had activations there and met some amazing mom bloggers there, had a chance to sit on panels with mom bloggers, have done things where we've even talked. I sat in January with a really wonderful mom blogger who's really passionate about Every Mother Counts, and just starting that dialogue around understanding how we could promote her love of that cause, I think is helpful when you can see those intersections and similarities of interest. That's been a really one for us and a successful one.
Great. What are some of when you've seen an organization try to start to reach out to moms, I mean, we've talked a lot about what you should do. What are some of the common early missteps that you see organizations make? Laura, maybe?
Don't ever send an email, Dear Mom Blogger. I get that a lot. I think it is really just repurposing a sort of canned PR approach to a social media influencers community. It's really, we see that even today so often, and all it takes is 5 minutes to scan someone's Twitter feed or their blog and see what they're interested in, see where they live, before inviting. I live in Los Angeles. I get invited to events in New York all the time. Just doing those simple research steps really makes a huge difference, again, in creating that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo that. I think, for us, one of the campaigns that we've been really successful with is our Giving Tuesday campaign. And so even amongst our mom bloggers, before we reach out with our ask, see have they participated in Giving Tuesday before, so that we acknowledge, hey, we saw this is what you did last year. don't know if that's going to be your focus again, just doing some homework so that you don't look like you're just trying to blanket. I think a lot of nonprofits are very, so they want to take advantage of these things, but don't properly think about how to tackle it before sending out blanket, emails that still take time. And then if they would just do some homework on and find 5 really strong fits and really try to develop that relationship, might end up having a better result than sending 100, emails and trying to follow up on, all of those random unresearched requests.
Yeah, I would agree with both of those comments. I think that's such a great point to keep it on target. And I think when you think of moms talking to each other, of course there's such a shared passion around being a mom itself. And so just kind of keeping your eye on that, finding those areas of common ground and really having those conversations almost from a one-on-one perspective, just like Mara and Laura said, keeping it personal. I think that's really, really important. You don't want your information or your pitch or your ask to come off sounding too, like corporate. Remember, there's a person at the end of the other line who's a mom and has something in common with your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just coming back to what Miranda said about how she made the printables on Valentine's Day so easy to use, there really is the classic ladder of engagement with social media influencers the same way there is with any of your supporters as a nonprofit. So if you are a nonprofit and you launch a Giving Tuesday campaign, you might get some new people to retweet you and follow you on Twitter. Then you want them to sign up for your email address, and then you're communicating with them via email, and you're building that relationship. And there's a similar thing in social media. So, it may be something as simple as someone liking your Instagram post, and then they're downloading your printable. Well, how do I keep that relationship building so that people ultimately are growing with me as an organization and can be my really strong supporters?
I think from a practical kind of management standpoint of these relationships, are these, and I think some people could hear all of this and think that maybe every single communication always has to be tailored. Are you storing these relationships in a CRM? Are they in a database somehow? How are you managing that kind of on the practical end? I don't know if anyone wants to jump in first.
Yeah, we definitely do keep track of bloggers, especially that we work with, that we've met at conferences. We'll keep note of little kind of, since we have 170 children's hospitals, so it's very easy for someone we're talking to who is a blogger to have a connection back to their local children's medical network hospital. So we do try to keep track of some of those facts. We have databases. And then our whole team is just very active on following bloggers and interacting with them anyway. So we're always tracking that and trying to make sure that everything that we do send out is as tailored as possible. Mm-hmm. We also try to be respectful of the fact that bloggers often have editorial calendars, just like media outlets do. So it's really important to try to reach out to them early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it sounded like the answer you maybe wanted was, no, not everything has to be tailored, but it does. If you're going to do something, you want to do it well, I think that's my message. If you're going to engage with a blogging community, you need to be resourced properly to do that. You need to be following them. You need to understand what they're doing. You need to, just treat them like a donor, right? They didn't give you money, but they gave you their audience. They gave you their time, so you need to thank them. You really need to have an ongoing relationship and somebody managing those relationships. You need to track those relationships in order to be effective with this. And if you're not resourced against it, that's okay. Put a plan to how would we get to be resourced against it if you want to do it.
Great. Then I think we're almost out of time. I wanted to know, other than obviously you are all doing great work in this space, are there any other organizations that you follow and watch and you think are doing interesting work in reaching out and you see getting a lot of traction here? Maybe Maura, if you have any ideas?
Well, I have to give a shout out because One does a phenomenal job in engaging moms online. They have the One Moms program, and a bunch of them are actually in Malawi right now with One and Heifer International. And so follow their streams on Twitter. I think it's #OneHeifer. They do an incredible, incredible job. And then I also want to give a shout out to the UN Foundation's Shot at Life program, because I think that they do such a beautiful job engaging both influencers on social media and then, moms who are really influential on the ground in community, who may not have blogs but are very active on Facebook and maybe Lions Club members or are advocates in their community. The real frontier is when online power meets offline power, and you can build a network of champions who will drive your cause, like I said, both on blogs but also in state legislatures and on Capitol Hill, because that's where the real power comes. And so you should check out Shot at Life and the UN Foundation too.
I think those are great examples, and one that comes to mind, of course, is one of our corporate partners. But Chico's FAS is the parent company of brands like White House Black Market, Chico's, Summit Intimates, and Boston Proper, and they have been working really closely with us on a lot of the mom outreach, just because a lot of their associates and customers, of course, are moms. So we've been working with them on creating some really beautiful materials that highlight what we call miracle moms, and those are the moms of our Children's Miracle Network Hospitals patients. So if you go to maisformiracles.org, you can click on the Chico's link and get an idea of some of the video pieces that we've created that have been really well received, as well as some other social media components that we're rolling out with them.
And I think, what's in our sphere, Girls Who Code is one of our partners, and every time we do something or we're mentioned, they are, sharing with us, retweeting us, just really engaging with us. So I think, the fact that we're seeing their engagement just shows really high level of attention and the right type of engagement that you probably want to see to be successful. In terms of other brands that we admire, you look at what Tom's is doing and how they're transforming their One Day Without Shoes campaign this year, taking the leap forward to say, hey, every time that you are going to engage with us, we're going to donate a pair of shoes. Just really showing tangible action for engaging on social media. I think that's a really powerful tool that has a way to evolve beyond, hey, if you like this, we'll give $1, to actually show real tangible results. If you do this, we're going to give a pair of shoes, and it isn't anything involving money. I think that's a really interesting thing that's just come out.
Cool. I have one more question for Maura specifically. We're going to run a little over time, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this. When you're making that transition from the online to the offline world, and especially in the advocacy, getting moms to advocate for you for their legislature, how does that process go? What are the steps? I know it's a huge, complicated question, but I have to at least touch on that before we go.
I feel like that's another hangout.
Yeah, I think it is.
How does that, again, it comes down to organizational commitment, I really think. And this is a new frontier, but I look at an organization like Moms Rising, they started out as an online-only organization with a massive email list, and they have been mobilizing moms to go to state legislatures now for years, and I look at the current just burst of media attention about paid family leave, right? John Oliver last night, Hillary Clinton's Mother's Day, e-card, all talking about paid family leave. Well, this is an organization. Moms Rising has been working on this issue tirelessly through email and mobilizing groups of online moms for like 6 years. And so what it is it's really identifying your online influencers and your evangelists and building those relationships. And I think slowly building a group that you feel like will work with you and giving them a say and buy-in over time until you feel like they're briefed enough on your issue, because that's key, right? You can't ask anybody to go advocate for you who doesn't have all the facts at hand, especially if it's a tough issue. So you're briefing them, you're investing in them, and they're investing in you. And again, it's going to be a small percent. If you think about social media as a pyramid, you've got probably 80% who are listeners and lurkers. You've got 10% of people who are going to like you on Facebook and who are going to be your online advocates. And then you've got that teeny 1% who actually are going to take it offline and show up for you. And you need to use a tool. Nation Builder's great. You can have a Salesforce database. There's all kinds of tools to support how you identify those folks, invest in them, and then educate them, ideate together. But I think Moms Rising is an incredible example of the power of building an issue from online to offline to a national media moment over time.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for answering a very difficult question quickly.
Well, we tried.
It looks like our time is up. A big thanks to Miranda, Laura, and Maura for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Great.
And thanks to everyone who joined the conversation today. If you'd like to review this session, our recording will be immediately available on Google Plus and YouTube, as well as on philanthropy.com. If you like today's session, you may be interested in our monthly webinar series that offers training in fundraising, social media, and grant seeking. And this audience may be particularly interested in our next session, which is Thursday, May 14th, this Thursday, about attracting female donors. If you want to attend that session, we're offering a special discount to our online discussion participants. You can use the code CHAT15 to get 15% discount on the webinar. Go to philanthropy.com/webinars to register. Again, thanks to our guests and everyone who joined us today. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.